ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਸਰਟੀਫਾਈਡ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਸ਼ਨਰ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ। ਇਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਤੇਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਿਹਤ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹਾਨੀਕਾਰਕ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਹੈ, ਆਓ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਤੋਂ। Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Antonina, today we would like to talk about oils. We hear some oils are good for our health, some say some are bad for our health, but how to differentiate between good and bad oils? Actually, what are good oils and what are bad oils?
Wonderful question, because you're correct. A lot of people in the society, first of all, are afraid of oils altogether. But oils are very important for all of our cells, all of our tissue, our brain especially.
Right.
And there are good fats and there are bad fats, good oils and bad oils. The way we tell them apart is that we know the good oils are the ones that are easily processed, that are easily extracted from seeds or nuts. Those could be olive oils, coconut oils. We can just press them. And then you have the oils that are highly processed. You have canola oil, soybean oil, vegetables oil, margarines. Like instead of butter, butter is much more natural, easier to create. But when you go to margarine, it's very, very severely processed, and the body doesn't understand it, and it's very clogging for the body.
Right. I think in today's world, the body probably doesn't understand the good things what we are consuming, because whatever we are putting into our bodies has been processed. So now coming back to the oils, because when we talk about oils, all our cooking is done mostly in oils only. So now when you talk about the good oils and the bad oils, the issue is, challenge is that you have to cook. Ultimately, you have to put in the oil to cook something. So over there, how to understand at home especially that what needs to be utilized and what not to be used?
Fantastic question, because there are oils that are okay with temperature, and there are oils that should not be subjected to any temperature. So the good oils that are good for cooking with, first of all, you can use butter. So preferably clean, organic, properly processed butter, or ghee, which is clarified butter. It's a little bit more concentrated. Ghee and butter are very, very stable, and they'll be a very good option and really healthy to cook with, because they're more stable in temperature. Then when it comes to vegetarian, vegan options, you use coconut oils. Coconut oil is a very good form of oil that, again, with high temperatures, it can handle higher temperatures much better than any other oils. Unfortunately, a lot of people are cooking with olive oils today. And olive oils and a lot of other wonderful nut oils that are actually much better at consuming in salads. So as soon as you start heating them, yes, they have a high smoking point, meaning that means that they're not going to start getting smoking at the large temperature. But that doesn't mean that they're not already very, very depleted in its value, that they don't become carcinogenic. Actually, in the very low temperatures, it becomes very rancid very fast, and it actually is proved to be cancer causing. So if you're heating up olive oils, you're actually denaturing it, breaking down its bonds and making it very, very, very toxic for the body. So you might want to put it on your salad as a dressing. You might want to add those oils into your shakes and other different things, but cook with butter or coconut.
Now, this is an important thing what you're talking about, olive oil, because now these days there's a lot of in the media also and otherwise also to talk about olive oil, cook in olive oil, and we have seen people changing from hydrogenated oils to olive oil. But then when we compare that, as you said, it should be utilized only for salad dressing, or it should be consumed raw. But now in olive oil also there are various varieties. Some are Paulus or Wallace, I don't know, I'm not remembering. So some are deeply pressed, and so how to again utilize the oils if you are not using it for cooking, then especially for olive oil, if you're just going to use something, what one should go and buy?
I'm glad you brought that point up, because people are confused, and even like there is always a good and a bad in every so in every aspect of our life. There's always two sides to everything, and there are olive oils. Olive oil is naturally very, very healthy, and it's highly used in Mediterranean diet and around the world right now. So there are oils, olive oils that are pressed incorrectly. They are subjected to a lot of heat through processing. A lot of times you would say 100% olive oil, but there would be other oils in there. Unfortunately, that's still allowed in the industry. So when I buy my olive oil, I always make sure that the olive oil that I choose always comes in the dark glass bottle. Always says cold pressed. meaning that has not been subjected to heat. And then I always make sure that I try to make sure that it's organic, virgin, and that it's from first pressing.
Okay.
So glass dark bottle, cold pressed, first pressing, in the and organic if possible. That oil I'm now comfortably using in my salads. I'm using in my food. But if I wanted to cook, I will highly recommend for people to research and understand that it's not the best for cooking for that reason.
Okay, and coming back to the cooking, like now sunflower oil is there, canola oil is there, other oils are there which are used in lots in cooking, and especially frying foods in our homes. So that is not good for our health?
Yeah, and the reason why is that canola oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, a lot of the special canola and rapeseed, which is made from, or sunflower, or actually soybean and canola are the two very highly genetically modified crops.
Okay.
So that means that enormous amount of pesticides and herbicides are used, like Roundup and other chemicals are used to grow that. And so now you're exposed to the essential, like, you know, the derivative, something exposed to food that's very heavily contaminated with a lot of chemicals. And then what they do in processing, they are subjected to really large temperatures. They use gases, hexane gas. They use petrochemicals, because you can't just press them. You actually have to use chemicals and different gases to be able to process them and to separate them. And when you separate them with those gases, you now make them rancid. You make them dark. So now you have to bleach them. You have to deodorize them. And so there's this huge process going through until you get now it looks beautiful on the shelf, it's in a plastic bottle, it looks beautiful, it's a golden color. But until it got there, the processes it went through and the amount of toxicity it was exposed to, temperature and chemicals it was exposed to, I wouldn't want to put that in my body.
Okay. So there's a lot of talk, like you have also mentioned, to use clarified butter or clarified butter, because this used to be the traditional method of cooking in our homes, but it got changed, and now people go in for these vegetable oils and mostly. So now when it comes to clarified butter, could you elaborate a little bit on that? Because in our community, a lot of people, it's called desi ghee. And ghee, it's called desi. Desi means which is not hydrogenated, it is pure. So if we get a chance to cook, you would recommend clarified butter, which is desi ghee, or coconut oil, or butter instead of the other vegetable oils, as you mentioned?
They're all much better than other vegetable oils because by structure, they are saturated in a way. By structure, they're a lot more stable when they heat it. So they actually can withhold high temperatures without changing the structure and becoming carcinogenic, cancer-causing. So you want to use all of them. Ghee is more stable than butter because it's a clarified, because it's kind of the top of the. It's more stable than butter. Butter will be next, and olive oil. So there's a vegetarian, there's a vegan and vegetarian option as a coconut oil. And in some curries, it will be a delicious addition to a flavor. In a lot of Thai food and Indian food, you can use coconut oil, and it would perfectly go with the texture and with the flow and how it. So I love cooking with coconut oil. Love cooking with coconut oil.
And finally, if you have to just consume any oil, like you talked about, olive oil should be put on the salads. Are there any other oils which you would recommend for your body? Like we hear about almond oil is very good. Any other oils? There
are lots of different nut oils today in the market. What you want to make sure that the company that's producing them, first of all, uses the right methods, because a lot of nut oils that oxidize really fast. So as soon as you press them and you extract them, they should be usually, when I buy my hemp seed oil, when I buy my avocado oils, I always buy them from companies that understand how to care for them properly. I usually get them in the fridge. I usually get them organic, and I usually bring them into my fridge and make sure that I use it quite fast, because you can't keep that oil for many, many months or years. And sometimes people forget about them, and they're there for years. So then you can actually smell the oil and determine whether the oil is still good. You might have that rancid smell. You want to get rid of that oil. Well,
that's wonderful. It's not just going by the name that you have avocado oil, to see also how it was produced and how you are consuming it.
The quality.
Thank you very much for this information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ, ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੇਲ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਕਿੰਗ ਲਈ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਵੈਜੀਟੇਬਲ ਆਇਲਸ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਹੀ ਠੀਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਨ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ। ਦੇਸੀ ਘਿਓ ਦੀ ਜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੱਖਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਬਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਕੋਕੋਨਟ ਆਇਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਿਹਤਰ ਹੈ। ਓਲਿਵ ਆਇਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਬਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਤੜਕੇ ਦਿਓ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਸੀਜਨਿਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਕੈਂਸਰ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਾਡੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਇਲਸ, ਓਲਿਵ ਆਇਲ ਦੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਹੀ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਕਰੋ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੈਲਡਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਤੇਲ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ। ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਵੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਕੀ ਸੀ, ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਮਿਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਜੇਕਰ 6 ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਉੱਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਐਕਸਪਾਇਰੀ ਡੇਟ, ਇਹ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਕਿ 2 ਸਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਰਹੋ, ਉਸ ਦਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬੈਸਟ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁੰਘ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਤੇਲ ਨੂੰ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜੇਕਰ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਬੋ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਤੇਲ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਵੇ।